Today we're talking about the hard life of an INFJ and why it's still so worth it. You will probably never meet an INFJ in your life who hasn't experienced some kind of hardship. And that hardship has started in early childhood. It is because we're different. It is because we're 1% of the population, and therefore everybody that we meet has a different interpretation of the world, of life, and they might, connect with each other because two of them have something in common, but it's way less likely that we have so much in common with others. That in itself already causes so many of INFJs to go through life and think, my life is hard, this is going to be painful, and I just don't see another way out because I cannot pretend I'm somebody that I'm not. What for? It's not going to make me feel any better. And it doesn't seem like there's another solution. But I'm here to tell you, yes, there is. There is a solution to it. You can turn it around, and you can actually use the fact that your life has been so hard to push to a place where you experience life better than the average person. Actually, much, much better. Before we go into detail on this, I have a new poster for you. So this time we're actually looking behind the curtain of the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. We're looking into the INFJ Epic Life formula. So this is a circular formula that you can use in any area of your life to create immense improvements, and it's really tailored to INFJs. All the information you find in links in the description, and if you want to go deeper and you say that's the thing for me, then check out the audio guide. All you need to know you find, as I mentioned below. Most INFJs have had at least one point in their life where they really felt completely helpless. And it's not to say that this only happens to INFJs. Of course, every person has that moment and not just one of them. But for INFJs, it seems it's more often. And the reason for this is that we don't have enough data. We don't have enough role models. We don't have enough examples of this has happened to somebody else before. This is how you deal with this. Hopefully and thankfully, our INFJ community is growing so immensely, and I'm not just talking about my channel. I just mean INFJs all around the world come together and we help each other to understand that first off, your unique challenges are not so unique in comparison to, other INFJs. We have experienced this, all of us to some extent and in different variations, but the core is the same. And this thankfully makes so many INFJs feel understood for the first time because they actually see it through the lens of another INFJ. It sort of makes sense now. We can put it into a place where we can name it, we can, categorize it somehow. But does that really remove the hardship? Sort of, not completely. Because it's one thing to understand what is going on and to understand, others are also experience this sadness and this loneliness and this being misunderstood thing that I feel every single day. It's another thing to completely not feel those emotions anymore. To not go through life and think, my life is harder, I am alone, I am misunderstood, and there is no way out. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is that we have to understand that a mediocre life is never going to make us happy. Other personality types might go in this direction and sort of go through life, not have the complete bliss, but it will be good enough. Because there are enough people who show them that, it's okay the way you feel. You don't feel misunderstood so often because maybe your neighbor or the person at work has the same personality type and therefore you feel a connection. For us INFJs, this barely happens because we are so rare in the world. I have actually come to a place where I recognize INFJs really quickly. Actually, most people that I connect with on some kind of level, I find out that they're INFJs as well if it's somebody I meet online, because there's this sense of, we have these things in common. I talk to INFJs all the time. And so this is one of the main reasons. But what does that mean for the typical INFJ? Well, it actually means that we have to do better. We're not going to be okay or happy by doing the bare minimum. We're not going to be okay by going the default road. We're not going to be okay and happy by doing what everybody else is doing. And this might seem unfair. You might say, why does it have to be so hard for me as an INFJ? Or you can tell yourself, okay, since this is the reality that I'm living in, since I cannot go and do the things that everybody else does because it's just not going to make me happy, then I'm going to use the mental strength that I do have in order to push out of it. I'm going to create an extraordinary life. And I do have the mental strength to do that. Because the only way I'm really going to feel fulfilled is if I step out of the norm. Because the norm is not tailored to you as an INFJ. The norm is sort of like this combination of the most common personality types, ISTJ, ISFJ, like all of those types. And there's this combination of all of them. And you as an INFJ don't really fit in. I mean, you fit in as in a way of you're being tolerated, you're actually even being appreciated in many ways, but it's in ways that you have learned to actually contribute. It's ways in which you've used how to master your skills. It's hard for an INFJ to be completely themselves and just go with the flow. Up until today, I have not seen this. What I mean by this is that the more I'm being myself, the more I step out of the norm. It means the more I tune into my INFJ nature, the less I fit in those boxes that society has put up for me, right? And this is something that I had to come to terms with, because the moment you step out of the norm, what happens? You're going to get all of those feelings of abandonment. You're going to feel like, okay, if I don't go with the flow, if I don't do what other people think is right, what other people think is cool, what other people think is acceptable, but I go about like my own thing, then of course people are not going to like me the way they liked me before. Because before they liked me because I played by the rules. But it really was a matter of they like me for what I do and not so much for who I am. For other types, it might be different. For them, it might be what I do and who I am is sort of like interconnected. So I can either like chill, I can just play by the rules, I can follow people, and still I can feel the connection and I can feel the intensity and I can feel fulfilled to some degree. As I said, for INFJs, this is barely possible. I haven't met an INFJ who is able to do that. Most of us have tried. Most of us have tried to sort of play into those rules, to pretend to be like everybody else, or to just cater to others to make them feel comfortable. We're not doing this because we're followers or because we can't live life on our terms. It's just that we don't see often enough that there is an alternative. And all of these things happen on a subconscious level. I mean, you have to be aware, every single person, INFJ or not, we all have those needs of inclusion. And by you deciding, being all that you can be, two things are going to happen. First off, you're going to break away from this inclusivity, right? You're going to stand out. You're going to do things differently. People who have accepted you so far because you haven't, rocked the boat, because you haven't shown out just how different you are, some of them are going to not want to be around you because it makes them uncomfortable, because they see that they're maybe also making compromises in some areas of their life and they're not willing to make them. They don't understand how we can just say, I don't care about the rules, when the rules for them is the only thing that makes sense. So on the one hand, as I said, you're going to break away. You're going to feel this fear of abandonment and you have to deal with it. You have to feel it in order to heal it. You have to get to a place where you say, I'm rather being disliked for who I am than to be liked for somebody that I'm not, right? And that in itself is already scary. And then we're also going to recognize that by us going our own path, we actually have so much more strength than we thought we did. I mean, imagine if you are trying to work in a system that is not made for you and you get ahead somehow. Compare this situation to another situation where you can be in your own element, right? It's like a fish trying to, walk on water, it doesn't really work. A fish in water, whole different story. So once you decide, okay, I'm not going to play by those rules and I'm not going to be in this inclusive field where I'm sort of being accepted for what I do and for the fact that I can, integrate myself and pretend that it's all good. Once I give all of that up and I become myself, you're going to actually leave people behind because you will have so much more energy that you, by default, will be catapulted to a different level in how you experience your life. We all, on some level, surround ourselves with people that, mirror back to us exactly how far we are in life. And when I'm talking about how far we are in life, I'm not talking about some superficial milestones that, are written somewhere, like, get a great job or make a lot of money or, have a partner or anything like this. No, I'm talking about how much you actually experience life on your terms, how well you feel within your body, how well you feel like, okay, I am in flow, I am living a fulfilled life, I am living, in our case, an INFJ epic life. That's what I'm talking about. And when you stop playing into the box that you feel like you have to, and you step out into a field that is made for you, because you only step into the field that is uniquely you, you're going to be able to create success on a level you've never experienced before. And that success will look very unique to you. You will be able to say, I have made it. I know I'm tapping into my potential. I know I'm on a trajectory to live the life that is meant for me. That's what we want to get to. And so you can look at the INFJ life and say, yes, it's hard. Yes, we're not going to be able to be like everybody else. And that in itself is painful. But think of it like this. Only because you're put in a situation where this mediocre life is just too painful for you, you're going to have the push to step out of it. You're going to be able to create a life that is beyond what you thought was possible if you played by certain rules. We all have this hope that one day we will get the fulfillment that we want within that box, because we don't think that there's a life outside of it. The price just seemed too high. As I mentioned, abandonment, disconnection, all of those things. But I can guarantee you, if you go towards your INFJ epic life and you stand up and tap into your potential and you grow in the ways INFJs can grow, you will have connections like you never had before. You will feel fulfilled like you never felt before. And you will have energy you've never had before. Remember, if you want some more guidelines how to make that happen, how to improve in every area that you want, then check out the poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to take it to the next level, then get the audio guide, all the information you find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video when the INFJ finally accepts their mind-blowing nature.